Hey guys, I'm down here in the crawl space under the house, and this I have a feeling that this pressure tank here for our well is not working properly. I think we have a burst bladder. So if you see here, that's the pressure in the pipes right now. Don't know how well you can read that, but I have a 40-60 system, so once it gets down below 40, right about 38, it should kick on and refill the tank. Should be coming up pretty soon here, I think. You'll hear it when it happens. There it is. Goes up and then clicks off. But you see, it should take it about a minute to fill up that tank. That means it is not putting a whole lot of water in there at a time. So the actual water capacity of the tank is seemingly having issues. And so I'm gonna look into figuring out how to empty this tank. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that just yet. And then we'll look into replacing it. So once I drain it, I've got a little air pressure gauge here that I'll use to test the air pressure. I'm fairly certain that it's waterlogged, so there will be basically no air pressure when I check the tank after it's emptied of water. Anyways, that's where I'm at so far. Okay, so we got ourselves a new pressure tank for the well system. Went into town to get that, as well as a number of other pieces. And I, like a silly goose, bought bought the wrong sized relief valve and uh, whatever, the faucet valve. I bought 3/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch. So one more trip to the hardware store later, and I'm now back and ready to finally get some assembly done. I've already attached the pressure gauge into the T assembly for the new water tank, and we'll soon attach the rest. Hopefully, once I have all that assembled, it will be pretty quick and easy to swap it out with the tank that's already down there. Fingers crossed, nothing bursts and we don't have any major issues. All right, back down in the crawl space. My T assembly is now put together fully. It still hasn't been attached to the new pressure tank, but we wanted to do that once we were down here. It's kind of a tight space to get down here. Didn't want to risk attaching it and then having to deattach it for it all to fit through. I think it would have fit through fine, but better safe than sorry. So we still need to put the Teflon tape and the pipe dope on that and get it into the new tank. But before we do that, we're actually going to start draining the old tank. So I have a faucet open upstairs that's draining out some of the water. I've already turned the power off to the pump, disconnected that. That's that thing right there. Taking that off. It's essentially the breaker for it. So there's no power going to it. So now we're just going to attach a hose and drain it into some buckets, because we don't really have much better option as to where to put the water for now. So we got several 5-gallon buckets here, though a 20-gallon tank like this actually only should hold up to 5 gallons of water, but since it's waterlogged, it probably has more in there. So, all right, let's get to it. We drained as much water as we could out of the faucet valve, but as you hear, still a lot of water in there. So we are trying to figure out what to do next, how to address this, because that's going to be real heavy to try and get out of the crawl space. Yep. Not sure what our next move is. All right, we drained as much water as we could out of the system, and there's still some in the tank. If we open up the valve, it dribbles out very, very slowly. It'll glug a little and then a little more, but there's still water in there. It's still pretty heavy. So we're looking to disconnect everything. Right now we're working by lamplight, as you can probably notice. And that's because we had to turn the power off to the whole house. We cut the breaker for this, but apparently that wasn't the only live power. I got myself a little shock as I touched one of the wires that shouldn't have had power. I don't know where this yellow cable goes exactly. And so we've turned everything off so that I don't electrocute myself and die. After I zap myself on the wires on accident, ooh man, arm's still a little tingly. The wires touched each other as I pulled away, and big flash, big bang of electricity as they connected. Oh boy, that was interesting. I'd say I wish I caught it on camera, but the truth is I wish it didn't happen. So now we're working by lamplight. Hopefully we can get this disconnected pretty quickly, and once we do, we can actually get to the installation of the new tank. After many bowl catches of water and grunts of a pipe wrench turning later, the old pressure tank has been removed. We are victorious in stage 1. Moving on to stage 2, new pressure tank, finishing up the assembly, and then installation. I think it should work pretty easily. You're not in the shot. You're not in the shot. It's fine.
I know, but I was holding it in front of me earlier.
Oh. Finishing up the installation should be super easy, barely an inconvenience. I'm certain of it. Honestly, I really do think that this part should be pretty easy going now that that's removed. So here we go. Let's hope I don't find a way to electrocute myself again, and we'll get this all installed and hooked up. See you guys in a minute. Huzzah! Everything is attached, and we are about to start turning power back on to see if this all works. So let's hope it doesn't explode. My lovely wife is turning the switches on right now. Okay, we have power back on down here. After she's done with that, the only thing left to do is to turn this breaker back on by attaching that, and we'll see if it works. Oh, heard the furnace come back on. All right. Sorry, I'm sure these are some terrible camera angles, but that on there. I would have expected to have heard the pump come on at this point.
You need to turn on the main again.
Well, but the tank is empty. It has no pressure in it. It should be filling it. We're gonna figure out what's going on. Hello again. It's actually the next day now, and I did eventually figure out what was going on with the well pump. After several hours of rewiring, trying everything we could think of, finally realized something that I should have realized right at the beginning. Gosh, those cars are loud. That my outdoor breaker box, I had not checked that. Now, these can be a little iffy to open. You gotta push that over, and you have to actually push up and then down. And here we go. There it was, the well breaker. There was a well breaker separate from every other breaker in the house. Oh my gosh, I feel so stupid. And it had tripped. We had tripped the breaker when I electrocuted myself yesterday. So I turned that back on last night, and we had immediately the pump kicked into action. We have water again. We have a water and a pressure tank. Thank the Lord. Everything is working now. There we go. Got that all closed up. Now I'm going to go splice this video together and going to get to work on my washing machine. Our clothes washer, it hasn't been working. So it's half disassembled right now, sitting in our house. So got to go figure that one out next. All right. Well, I hope you all have a great day. And hopefully I'll be back up to doing some reaction videos soon.